So good morning everyone. So we are now going to start with our second area in our syllabus, which will be called as securities laws. These securities laws are having three partitions in total. Technically two, if you subdivide they will become three. So first thing, there are two logical parts in this particular area called as securities laws. First area will be called as SEBI. Next area will be Securities Contracts Regulation Act 1956. So SEBI and SCRA, in short we will call like that. So SEBI is a further having two types of divisions inside it. First one will be the SEBI Act. Next one will be SEBI LODR regulations. Act 1992, SEBI LODR regulations 2015, and SCRA 1956. These are the three parts. What are dealt in all the three areas is an entirely different story we will come across when we go into that particular area. But here in this connection, what is our first concern is what we are going to cover first in our syllabus curriculum, what we are going to start with. That's the main idea behind. So what we are going to do is, first we will be starting with the SEBI Act. Next we will be going into the LODR regulations. Next we will be going into the chapter called as SCRA. And the marks allotment, generally if you take past 10 examinations, this is a general trend followed. A pakka question will come from any of these two, but sometimes both can also come, like in the last exam. So from these two areas, in the last attempt there has come one 6 marks question and one 4 marks question, and from here there is another 5 marks question that has come in exam. That means this area will be given for 12 to 15 marks in examination. Which area? Total securities laws will factor in 15 marks in examination. That means if the total economic law syllabus is 40, this 40 will be divided among the following chapters. 10 marks will be divided to IBC and 15 marks will be given to the securities laws. That means how many marks are still there? 25 marks gone. How many marks are still there? There will be technically, and if it is a 40, I'm talking about including choice, it will come for 45 marks. Okay, so in 45, 25 these two chapters will eat away. How many marks are there still? 20 marks. This will be shared by 5 chapters as a whole. That means 4 marks, 5 questions will come in exam. Generally marks will oscillate 1 mark here and there, but in general every economic law will have a representation in the paper. That means, sir, can I leave arbitration conciliation? Sir, can I leave foreign contribution regulation? Can I leave FEMA? Can I leave SEBI? Last attempt SEBI was given. This attempt SEBI will be given or not? Again it will be given. Okay. So next after that attempt again it will be given. So come again if you leave the answers. So therefore try to understand 45 marks syllabus means totally we have 8 economic laws and 9 questions will come in examination from economic laws. It will account for 45 marks in examination. Which area we can leave? No area will be there where we can leave and go. Once it is there in the syllabus, it's imperative for us to complete it. So with that intention, let us first try to understand the examination pattern. Generally in exam, this is a most sought after area. That means SCRA may be left over in some attempts. That means if you take 10 attempts, 1 or 2 attempts SCRA might not be asked, but every attempt there will be a question from SEBI Act. And SCRA is also equally important like SEBI. Okay, so SEBI LODR, this was introduced into the syllabus in the year 2018. Only 2 questions were asked till now, and this is a very much a dead easy area. So therefore this is easy to score. These are also easy to score, but more concepts will be there. Okay, so technically to go, this chapter will be having 40 questions inside. Which chapter? SCRA is having 40 questions inside. This SEBI will be having another 45 questions. Some very small questions will be there, some normal questions will be there, some big questions will be there. Totally there will be an order of another 45 questions. Here there will be another 15 questions for examination. 45, 15 means sub questions also inclusive. There will be 6-7 main questions. So technically 45 plus 15 making it 60 and another 40 making it 100. Technically this area is having 100 sections inside. This 100 sections is it. I told you many number of times in the class. I'm again and again I am repeating here. Our law syllabus will be almost 2 to 3 times the GST syllabus. Okay, 2 to 3 times the GST syllabus. How we can understand that? Here see the sections. One single area in syllabus is covering 100. Okay, in GST total sections itself applicable for examination are hardly 120, 130. So try to understand the volume of our syllabus first. So securities laws will account for 12 to 15 marks in examination, which account for 100 sections as a whole. So now in the today's session, we are going to have a in-depth understanding on the introduction to the securities markets in India and why there is a need for SEBI and how SEBI has evolved in India. What about the East India Company concept? How the Port Canning and some other companies are there? Okay, back bay reclamation. There are certain companies in Mumbai which are started in the early 1850, 1855, 60, etc. So how about the shares are getting traded at that point of time? How the stock exchanges have already evolved. So all these things we are going to discuss in this area. Many people who are having many kinds of doubts with regard to stock exchange. Since I have a huge pleasure to explain certain stock exchange aspects, I want to explain you the basics of a stock exchange. That means not today. When we progress into the concept, whenever it is required, occasion really demands for that, definitely we will learn. And after this session, that means SEBI completed, SCRA completed, SEBI LODR completed. If that is completed, I am giving you an assurance that you will be understanding many things with regard to stock exchanges. What you didn't know previously before this class, what is your knowledge with regard to stock exchange and what is your knowledge after these chapters on stock exchange will be completely different. Definitely you will get a premium. That's what I can give a guarantee. So many things will be learned. So many things will be learned. So sir, already I completed SFM. Okay. Now make a self question on yourself. Do you know who is a stockbroker? Do you know who is a sub-broker? Do you know who is a depository? Do you know who is a depository participant? Do you know who is an underwriter? Okay. Do you know who is a sponsors? Do you know who is a trustee to the trust deed? Okay. Do you know what is a collective investment scheme? Do you know what do you mean by a real estate investment trust? Do you know what is a business trust? Do you know what is an alternative investment fund? So if all the questions are unanswered, then you didn't know what is SFM all about. That's a simple statement that we can make. That means it's not about doing the problems. It's something beyond. Stock exchange is not a paper document. Stock exchange is not a bulk and bunch of problems. Stock exchange is a practical reality. Stock exchange is everyday prices moving up and down. What is the idea behind the candlesticks? Whenever the market represents through candlesticks, what the candlesticks actually denote? How to buy a share, how to sell a share, how the transactions actually happen, what is a clearing house, what is a clearing corporation, what is the work of a stockbroker, what is the work of a sub-broker, what is the work of a trading platform, how the actual trading platforms work in India, what is the additional trading floor, how the stock exchange actually works in Mumbai, and what are the 3 important stock exchanges in India. All these questions will be answered. That means once we complete this and then after that if you do SFM, there will be really a completeness when you do that. Okay, this is how the transaction happens and this is how it will be made. Record date, how to maintain that record date. Whenever I buy and sell the shares, how my name will be changed in the company records. Everything will be there. Everything will be there. You need not ask any questions. Sir, this will be there in the seller, this will be there in this act, everything. stock exchange is there, 100% will be there in this particular acts. Securities laws are three laws that are applicable for examination. One is the Securities Contracts Regulation, second one is the Securities and Exchange Board of India Act 1992, and next one is the Securities Exchange Board of India LODR Guidelines or Regulations 2015. These are the three areas that are applicable for our examinations. So this is a basic introduction that I want to tell. Okay, so let us move on to the concept. Evolution of securities markets in India. First, let me explain certain important concepts. Later you can read. See here, sir, social paper, geography. This is a world map, physical. Do you know there are two world maps? There are two world. There are no two worlds. I'm not telling there are two worlds. I'm talking about there are two kinds of world maps. One is called as a political, another one is called as a physical. First one is physical, second one is called as a political. There are two types of world maps popularly. One is a physical, another one is a political. When you want to see the names of cities in a world map, you want to map point, then at that point of time, political map paper will be useful. That means all places, etc. will be there. Physical means it will show the world as a whole, seas, oceans, and South Pole, North Pole, everything. If you want to see, a physical map is important. So you can see here, physical map of the world. Physical map of the world. So let's try to understand clearly what it is. Sir, why world map is there? Why you are making us to know about the world map? I know everything in the world. Okay, you know everything in the world, but అలాంటి ఏమి తెలియని వాడు చెప్తాడు ఏదో కొంచెం, అది కూడా విని నేర్చుకోండి కొంచెం. So the point is, this person, I think everyone is observing the hand mark, Europe, the main villain in the history of India. Okay, Europe. This Europe has first made certain invasions to India. Okay, I can tell you one important thing in this connection. Invasions into India are not started in the year 1800s or 1900s. Invasions to India have started in the year 1400. Which year? 1400s it started. The invasions to India have first started in 1400. When Vasco da Gama came to India, after that many people started coming to India. India is not such a place where there is a ease in making a travel. So you didn't understand what I said. Okay, I will explain you. If this is Europe, I think everyone is observing the hand mark. If this is Europe, how to come to India? Europe means India. This is true if there is airline service in the year 1400. Okay, Air Indigo, SpiceJet, okay, Air India, Indian Airlines, Kingfisher Airlines, Air Emirates, etc. If all these things are there in the year 1400, then this is correct answer. But at that time, the only available route to India is a sea route. Not India, everywhere in the world. Okay, when flight is not at all invented, airplane is not invented in the world, what is the main mode of transport? Seaway. So how they use it to come? Observe the hand mark. This is Europe. They use it to come all the way from here. Like this, they use it to come. And then they will come to India. Okay, in India also, since in the Arabians, if you see the hand mark here, so there are many disturbances here. Hand mark, there are many disturbances here at this place exactly. Okay, and there are many disturbances even in this place. That means if the ship has to come all the way like this, it has to come like this. So here cliffs and mountains used to be there. So very dangerous during travel, and here also very dangerous during travel, and here also very dangerous during travel. Therefore, most of the people don't like to come like this. Do you know how they use it to come? They use it to come all the way like this. They have to come like this, and they have to come because this way is 100% proper and no mountains and cliffs. Journey will be very smooth. All the way like this, they used to come to India and they used to meet here. That means if you observe the hand mark, here what is the important place in India? If you click on this, okay, So if you can observe clearly, you can come all the way, and here it is the Calcutta. That means if you can observe clearly, this is the way. So all the way they used to come, and they used to touch this particular place called as Kolkata. Now it is Kolkata. At that point of time they call them as Calcutta. So you should observe an important thing in this connection. They can also have a stop in Mumbai, but they never had it, because mountains and cliffs near that Arabian Sea doesn't have a smooth journey flow directly to Mumbai at that point of time. Okay, and one thing to observe clearly, it used to take months and years to have a journey to India. Okay, so you should understand one important point. It has taken 17 years for a person to invent a sea route to India, to discover the sea route to India. That means a person had his journey for 17 years with 860 halts in middle. Vasco da Gama, 860 halts, okay, in middle, and it has taken 17 years for many persons to have a journey to India. Why? Because of this particular reason. Observation required. One thing to know, why we are discussing about all these things. I said many number of times, reading law does not mean reading for exam. Reading law means understanding the background and then reading. So please show some concentration when you are reading this. Okay, nothing what I said is a false statement. Everything has actually happened. This is a map taken directly from the Google. So for your good understanding, I can take this. నేను ఇదే దాన్ని ఒక మ్యాప్ తీసుకొని ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయొచ్చు, కానీ 100 people, if they sit and listen to the class, 5 people will be always there who will always try to pin out certain negatives inside the lecture. సో దట్ మీన్స్ ఏంటి నిజంగా ఇలా జరిగిందా, ఇటు నుంచి వచ్చారా, రాకుండా నేను ఎందుకు చెప్తానా కానీ మెంటలా వినే మీకైనా ఉందా. సో పాయింట్ ఈజ్ వీ షుడ్ అండర్స్టాండ్ వన్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్ థింగ్. Please ensure that whatever it is discussed in the historic background, everything is true. Okay, this is a map directly taken from Google. Actually, when London or European countries, actually when they used to come to India, they used to have this particular route. Okay, one thing is this is a modified route only. So they used to come all the way like this, and then they used to meet a place called as a Mumbai. This is a general route, but this is also not true. This is a modified route. This is a 16th century route. Which century? 16th century route. Okay, 16th century route. This is a route that has been taken. And do you know what is the journey number of kilometers? 19,800 kilometers. The sea route journey is there. That means it has taken 17 years to have a journey to India. How many years? 17 years it has taken. 17 సంవత్సరాల పాటు జర్నీ చేస్తే కానీ ఇండియాని అంటుకోవడానికి ఛాన్సే లేదు. ఓకే, అది ఏంటి ఇలా వచ్చి ముంబైని అంటుకుంటే. అండ్ ఇట్ హ్యాస్ ఇంక్రీస్డ్ బై అనదర్ 1200 kilometers as a odd number. Okay, on a odd. Generally, if you take another 1200 kilometers, it will take. If you don't want to have a journey to Mumbai, if you want to cut this and go to Calcutta for a smooth journey, it has taken another 1200 kilometers extra. Let us take. Technically, it used to take 17 years or 17 years. Sir, 1400, 1500 century low. Do you expect steamer boats and most powerful speed running boats on the sea? They used to have a normal clamping sheds. That means they used to have a axe, etc. At that point of time, you can't expect big ships like Titanic, etc. So therefore, it used to take 17 years. And try to understand, no electricity, nothing. If it becomes night, that means after 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the evening, means they used to have a journey completely in a thick darkness, where darkness also will really get scared about it. So that much darkness. Here we should observe one positive thing. How much dedication is there for that fellow to loot India. ఎంత డెడికేషన్ ఉంటే వాడి ప్రాణానికి తెగించి ఇండియా రాగలుగుతాడు. సో వాడికి ఇండియాని దోచుకోవాలనే అంత డెడికేషన్. దట్ డెడికేషన్ హ్యాస్ కంటిన్యూడ్ ఫర్ 17 years. మధ్యలో మళ్ళీ తిరిగి వెళ్ళాల. సో ఫ్రమ్ ఆల్ ద వే ఫ్రమ్ లండన్ దే హ్యాడ్ దే జర్నీ టు కల్కట్టా. దే స్టార్టెడ్ their business. So 14th century, this is a situation. in 1400s, mid 1400, 1490, 1470, 60, at that point of time, they found out India is not a correct place to trade because of the journey. This journey is 100% cumbersome journey where a normal mankind can't make. Since the journey is really a faulty journey, they found out one important thing: don't have your business in India. India is not a correct place to trade. So leave that India. Immediately, this particular persons in London, their eyes fell on Africa. They have looted Africa first. Okay, during the process of this looting, they found out that India has become more good place to make a trade. The richness of India, the popularity of India has spread across leaps and bounds because of Mughal dynasty. That means once after, sir, how history has set out certain things, we should really appreciate. Try to understand logically. If you see the history, you can understand why they made invasions into India. You can know Portugal invasions happened. Portugal invasions only ಈ ಬ್ಯಾಚ್ ಮೊತ್ತ ಈ ವಾಸ್ಕೋಡ ಗಾಮ ಬ್ಯಾಚ್ ಮೊತ್ತ Portugal invasions are made. So when Portugal invasions are made, they come to India and they went out. They found that India is not a correct place to make a trade, correct place to make a business. They went out and they started looting other countries. Okay, so they went to other places and they looted literally. At that point of time, some places here, you can observe these areas, exactly these areas. Okay, these areas, these areas, all these areas, whatever I highlighted, these are the areas which are these countries like Iran, Iraq, or Afghanistan, Kazakhstan, Pakistan, etc. All these, Pakistan anyway, it is in India. So at that point of time, what has happened in India, you can observe the situations that are going on at that time very clearly. These people first invaded India. Okay, these people first invaded India. Why they invaded? They invaded for all about 280 years. Dynasties are changing. Internally, India is having dynasty, Pallava dynasty, Chola dynasty, etc. And from outside, Mughal dynasty also come to India. In the early 1500, Charminar constructed in Hyderabad at that point of time. Okay, this 1500, 1600, why British didn't come? Why Mughal dynasty has led their flow in India? The main reason is, for Mughal dynasty, there is no sea route to India. It's only a land route. So you can observe clearly, for all these countries, whatever we have now made a mark, for them, it is not a water journey. It is a land journey. Since it is a land journey, it is not difficult for them. Horses and other kinds of animal journey is very much popular and trending at that point of time. They started their journey to India. That's why you have to understand one thing. First invasions to India are successful. Many people invaded through coming through sea road, but the successful ruling in India first started only with Mughals in India. The culture has started in India just because of one reason: there is no sea route. Later, at some point of time, they are going outside India because of certain important persons in India like Chhatrapati Shivaji and other people. And this is not a time for us to learn that history. I want to discuss only the securities laws related history. Okay, so because of Chhatrapati Shivaji and all other many people, the grandeur of India, they went out. 1700s came. Okay, 1700s came. Now the British rule has started. Sir, why 1700 British rule started? They are slowly finding out a sea route and an easy sea route to India. And 1700 means almost 1400 to 1700, and 1750 means 300, 350 years have passed away. Once they passed, technology also increased. At that point of time, whatever the technology available, steamer boats have come. That means the journey has increased from 17 years to 3 years. Sorry. So the journey has increased from 17 years journey has become a 3 years journey. They found that, okay, now we can come directly to India. So they found out that it will take hardly 3 years time for us to come. So therefore, it has taken 3 years time for them to invade India, and from London all the way, they used to come to Mumbai. This is the route. This is early 1700s map. So 1400 they used to go to Calcutta. Okay, they had to go to Mumbai. And first time when British came, they also come not to Mumbai. They also came to Calcutta. That's why The first East India Company Limited, its head office is in Calcutta at that point of time. They also started invading to Calcutta, not to Mumbai. Mumbai later it became. So what happened? East India Company Limited, they started in Britain, and that has his establishment in India. This used to do trade in cotton, spices, indigo, and all these technical what to say spices and herbs and other things like cotton, textiles, etc., which India is having a grandeur in the production. That means tons and tons of cotton is available in India at that point of time. Okay, so that they targeted on. So why all this? There is no other country in the world to make the trade on cotton. So that we need to understand. So this is the historic setting. See here. See here. This is America. So this one, North America. America and Europe, these two continents are such a continents where they used to have a parallel transfer of many kinds of parallel transfer of. Okay, one second. They used to have parallel transfer of many kinds of goods from one another, because there is no hindrances. Directly they can have a journey from North America to Europe on a sea route, and it is hardly having 5,000 miles at that point of time. A very easy journey used to have between North America and Europe. Therefore these two countries are a friendly countries till 1860. 1861, okay, American Civil War has started. Civil War means persons from Europe should not go to USA, persons from Europe should not go to persons from USA should not go to Europe. Civil War has started in the early 1860s. 1851 it started. 1860 it has become more and more worst at that point of time. World War, all these things came at that time. Not at 1860. They started. Cold War and Civil War has started between these two countries. So North America and Europe are in a civil war. Once they are having a civil war, what happens? The friendly relations will be broken. Okay, once the friendly relations are broken, the transactions of cotton between North America and Europe, the transactions of spices between North America and Europe suddenly came to standstill. So North America does not have any kind of textiles to develop. So Europe does not have many things to do. So therefore, they have found an alternative. They came to know India is rich in cotton. Therefore, they targeted India. So let's target India. The ground map has been prepared, and all these things we've seen in many movies and recently in SIDA. Okay, so many things they have taken from India that you should understand very clearly. Why they targeted India? ప్రపంచంలో ఇన్ని దేశాలు ఉంటే why me? Try others. ఎందుకు అంటే India is rich in cotton where other world needs that. So Europe and USA, Europe is also rich in cotton but not like India. So therefore they targeted directly on India with the help of North America. So one thing we need to understand, India has become a scapegoat just for the purpose of cotton and certain other spices that are abundantly available in India. Mad and rich they become mad and rich. So all these people from Europe and USA. So this is the first historic setting. That's why they started the journey way back to India. So this is how they started. Later, 1860s, they started journey to India or not. At that point of time, they found that the journey to India is very difficult in the early 1700s, etc. Therefore, an Arabic word is there called as a Suez. Suez, Suez. It's an Arabic word that's called as a Suez. In the token of gratitude towards a particular king, they named Suez. There is a canal called as a Suez Canal. That is a route here. Okay, where is the route? Let me show you on the paper. So this is called as a Suez Canal. You can see here, Suez Canal. Sir, what is this Suez Canal? I think everyone might have heard this word called as a Suez Canal in our early childhood when you're having a map pointing. Suez Canal is very important because when you have a journey from Europe, you have to come all the way like this or not. This trend has changed. You can come directly like this, but here there will be a total 280 to 90 kilometers of mountains. Okay, sea will be there. That sea will be totally stopped with the mountain here. That means there is no way to come. Therefore, they have made a artificial canal. That means they digged the mountain for all about 16 complete years. They digged inside and they found a small place which looks like a canal. Really, Suez Canal is not a canal, it's a man-made sea level canal. That means it's a merge of two important seas in the world, Mediterranean Sea and Red Sea. There are two seas, Mediterranean Sea and Red Sea. Both are not attached to each other because of a big mountains for 280 to 300 kilometers. That mountains were broken for 16 complete years to form a sea route to India. So therefore, these mountains are totally shattered. They were totally destroyed, and a small route used to be available. A 16-kilometer route is available. Okay, 16 kilometers width. In seas and oceans, 16 kilometers is a very much a little bit amount. Okay, seas will be spread across thousands and thousands of kilometers. 16 kilometers the path has opened because of breaking the mountains at that point of time, and that 16 kilometers, the breadth and 300 kilometers length, sea used to look like a canal because of a small way available. Therefore, they named it as Suez Canal. Really, it's not a canal. Okay, on oceans, how can you find a canal? So therefore, they found this route. Immediately, 19,800 kilometers have become 11,600 kilometers. This has reduced the journey by further number of years, and that technologically increased technology has made this particular journey from 17 to 3 years, and this has made out of a technology in the early 1800s, etc., 1750, 1760. At that point of time, much more developments have come in travel, and that 3.5 years has become 8 months journey. Immensely happy. They found a route to India, sea route open to India directly. Now, if they come in this way, Calcutta is a better place to trade or Mumbai? At that time, they found that rather than moving and going to Calcutta, it is better to move to a new place which is easy for us to enter, and that became Mumbai. That's how the Mumbai has got its commercial establishments in India. Why I am telling all these things till now? SEBI started in India. Stock exchanges, SEBI started in Mumbai. Stock exchanges started in Mumbai. Why Mumbai became the commercial capital of India? Because of this Suez Canal and all these things. India was opened first through Mumbai. That's why in Mumbai we have Gateway of India, because that has become the original gateway to many people in India, many people from outside world. That's why India, in Mumbai we have Gateway of India. It's not India Gate. India Gate is in Delhi. Gateway of India is there in Mumbai, just opposite to Hotel Taj. So why this became popular? Because name itself is telling it's a great gateway to India. That means if you want to enter into India at that time, there is only one gate, and that's Mumbai. Okay, so this is how Mumbai has become a commercial capital, and the SEBI has got its existence almost 150-200 years later. But just I want to tell why Mumbai is a commercial capital of India. This is how they started, and Mumbai is rich in textiles. Ahmedabad, Mumbai are highly developed cities at that point of time with regard to the textile industries. This is how the historic setting of our Indian exposure to outside globe has started. So let us now see the evolution of securities markets in India. Let's see now. 1855. That means East India Company has come almost 100 years back. Okay. East India Company concept came to India. What is East India Company? East India Company is also a company first. That means it will have some share capital. Whenever I want to expand my business, I can expand business just like that, or by inserting some capital, I have to insert some top-up recharge called as a share capital. To introduce some share capital, I should get some money in rupees or not? Yes. I started company in Calcutta. Head office is in Calcutta. At that point of time, rupees are the traded currency. Some person has to buy the share first in order to expand the business. These British persons went to the zamindars at that time. They asked them. So there is a concept called as a company. Immediately our surprised zamindars asked the British government, what do you mean by this share? I didn't listen at that point of time. What is a share? Immediately they said that you don't know what is a company. A company is a artificial existent entity which is having a distinct ownership status, which can have a capacity to sue and to be sued. All our IPC syllabus they used to read. And thereafter they said you can invest in shares like you invest in cotton, gold, etc. Share, what is a share? You don't know what is a share, Zamindar. A share is a share in the share capital of a company. Share is a share in the share capital of a company. Now tell me, what is a share actually mean? So they use it to sit and take lectures to them, and they said, so this is called as a share. If you purchase the shares of this particular East India Company, your money will be taken by the British government, invest in East India Company, purchase cotton from your local persons. We will make a fabrication of that cotton, and we prepare cotton textiles, and we will take back to our own place called as Europe or London or Britain, whatever the case may be. So for that we will pay some money to you. So this is the high idea behind the concept called as a company. They asked, sir, I invest today. If I invest in gold in India, we can also sell to another person. If we purchase this share, how to sell? They said that yes, you can do that. As on today, it is not there. When the time progresses on, in another 15-20 years, we will create a market for this called as a stock market. At that time, you can go and sell. But it is a long-term investment. Keep it with you for 10 to 15 years. Immediately our zamindars used to give lakhs and crores of rupees at that point of time. They had to give the amount to them. Okay. Therefore, the first Indian company that has started with the name called as a Back Bay Reclamation. The first Indian company started as a one of the company which floated through the Indian share capital, but started by British. Started by British, but it's an Indian company. That company is called as a Back Bay Reclamation. After that, another also started in the early 1800s. That's called as a Port Canning Limited. So these are the two companies which are first started in India according to the British Companies Act. Sorry, sorry, ఇవన్నీ నిజంగా ఉన్నాయా? ఓకే, ఉన్నాయో చూద్దాం. So one second. See here. This is called as a Back Bay Reclamation. This is a new Mumbai, but I can show like this. See here. Back Bay Reclamation, Kolaba, Mumbai, Maharashtra. Back Bay Reclamation is a company. Okay, it is across the Marine Drive in Mumbai city. In movies, you will see a Mumbai, a particular way adjacent and connected to the sea in Mumbai or not. That way is called as a Back Bay Reclamation. Back Bay, the name is Back Bay. On that particular place, there used to be a company in early 1800s that's called as a Back Bay Reclamation. That company share is the first Indian traded share, and later there is another company called as a Port Canning. So Port Canning also underwent a big disaster at that time, like Vizag disaster now happened, like Bhopal gas leak happened at that point of time. But just don't read the all the history behind the Port Canning. Only what I want to tell is, yes, there is a concept called as a Port Canning company. Okay, so it was named after Lord Canning. Okay, Lord Canning. He also some details are given. Lord Canning had died in 1862. ఇప్పుడు నేను చెప్తున్న హిస్టరీ అప్పటిది 1860, అదే చెప్తుంది. సో పోర్ట్ క్యానింగ్, దెర్ ఈస్ ఎ కంపెనీ కాల్డ్ as a Port Canning. So anyway, what I want to tell is Port Canning is one of the area. This is a company at that point of time. ఏం సార్ ఇలా ఉంది, అప్పట్లో చాలా బాగుండేది. ఓకే, దిస్ పిక్చర్ వాస్ టేకెన్ ఇన్ ఎర్లీ 2000s. సో అప్పటికి ఈ పిక్చర్ ఇలానే ఉంటుంది 200 years after picture. ఓకే, or 130-150 years after. So anyway, one thing to understand in this connection, there are two companies which are not totally British. They are operated by British but having Indian establishment with the name called as Back Bay Reclamation and Port Canning. Both the stocks used to trade at a premium. What do you mean by premium? British government used to take cotton from us. They used to invest in this company, and they used to manufacture textiles, and they used to take back to Britain. Okay, very very cheap material, very very cheap in terms of manufacturing cost, but 100% rich in quality of cotton. India is rich in quality of cotton, but labor was very cheap here. Therefore, British first started targeting on the cotton business. That's why Mumbai became popular in textiles. ఇప్పుడు మనకి ఇవన్నీ అర్థం చేసుకున్న తర్వాత, అవును కదా, ముంబై ఇప్పుడు టెక్స్టైల్స్ ఎందుకు పాపులర్ బ్రిటిష్ కాన్సన్ట్రేట్ చేసింది ముంబై మీద. ఆ కాన్సన్ట్రేషన్ ఏదో విజయవాడ మీదో హైదరాబాద్ మీద పెట్టుకుంటే అవి డెవలప్ అయ్యేవి. So they concentrated in Mumbai. Mumbai became one of the most successful cities in India, and it has become one of the sought after city in the world itself today. So why? What is the reason? The reason is they first targeted on that particular area. So anyway, these are the two companies which started in India, which have share capital traded in rupees. Okay, East India Company ownership is not given to any Indian. It is 100% operated by British. But this is a company which is operated by British, but share capital is available in rupees. Okay, Indian persons can also buy. They bought 1850s, 1845, etc. At that point of time, they used to buy the shares. Okay, rarely they used to buy. If there is a 30 crore population in India, hardly 100 to 150 people know what is a share capital. Okay, persons who used to study in Britain and come to India, they used to know what is a share. Hardly 200 members in India, 200 persons in India used to know what is a share. అలాంటి రోజుల్లో ఎవరు ట్రేడ్ చేస్తాడు? For example, today's stock markets are totally became volatile and complex in such a way that in India there are 7 crore traders every day. That means how many persons are opening demat account? Means 7 crore demat accounts are opened in India. At that time 150, where is 150, where is 7 crore? India is developed today. Everyone is having a reach to stock market. 1840, 1850, if you open a company called as Back Bay Reclamation or Port Canning Limited, etc., if you open that and share capital is purchased, if I have to sell the share, some person should be readily available to buy the share or not. So there is no person. Immediately they used to cry before the British person. You said that share is a very important investment in future. I purchased a share, 10 years completed, but how to sell this? I invested almost 300 rupees in this. At that time 300 rupees, 500, 300 rupees I invested in this particular share. What is going here? So please show some remedy to us. Immediately they used to cry before the British person. Immediately British person said that wait for another 2 years, we will start a concept of stock brokers. So they asked what is a stockbroker. Britain is very popular in stock transfers here. In early 1700s only we have the concept of stockbrokers. We will introduce that in India. Likewise, 1855, the first official trade in India has started below a banyan tree, not banana tree. Started below a banyan tree, Marri Chettu. Okay, this was there in Horniman Circle. You are 100% free to search everything on Wikipedia. Okay, after a thorough research from the books I read, I am taking this. Okay, research you cannot make from internet. Research you should make from books, but evidences you can collect from internet. Okay, internet contains 90% false and 10% true statements. Okay, don't believe in internet information. Read the books, you can understand clearly. But internet will be useful for you to have a normal ballistic check. So second time check if you want to make, you can. So Horniman Circle. Okay, this Horniman Circle only has a place called as a Dalal Street in Mumbai. Okay, there in Horniman Circle there is a place called as Mumbai Town Hall. Mumbai Town Hall. At that time it's called as a Bombay Town Hall. This Bombay Town Hall is having a place where they used to have a big banyan tree. Below that, two traders used their first trade. The first Indian trade happened between two persons called as Premchand Roychand and a person from Persia. A person is there who purchased the shares of Back Bay Reclamation, the shares in India. Like that, they purchased the shares. A person from Persia purchased the shares of Back Bay Reclamation in India in Indian rupees, and a person in India with the name called as Premchand Roychand, he also purchased the share of the same company. These two people used to meet below a banyan tree on a particular auspicious occasion. They used to sit below the banyan tree and they said, I want to sell it for these many number of annas. You want to give these many number of annas, then I will take. Immediately a person from Persia came to India and he purchased the shares of Premchand Roychand, and Premchand Roychand have made a good profit in that particular transaction at that point of time in paisas. In paisa, they made some profit. He was immensely happy. Communicated to other fellow persons who he know. Immediately they also asked, this much profit you make. So 1 paisa profit you make. Say how much huge profit you have made. How you made? Immediately he said that I am selling a share. You are selling a share? What is a share? Immediately he also said a share is a share in share capital of a company. And what is going on? What is this share? Tell me, we will also invest. That's how they started their journey. Whenever you want to buy and sell, you need to have a stockbroker in the middle or not. First transactions when they happen, buyer and seller used to meet together. But at that time, Aadhaar card, all these things are not there. So some persons who are making a false representation, they also used to make the transaction in others' name. This became a huge problem. British government came to know. Let me first explain the basics. So 1855, 1855. Trade under a banyan tree has started with the 6 stockbrokers in front of the Bombay Town Hall. 1860, stockbrokers have become from 6 to 60. It has increased 10 times. 1865, they found a need for rules and regulations to govern these stockbrokers. 1874, they found that in Hardiman Circle, randomly they used to trade at some places. We should not have like that. We should have a profound place for stock exchange. Therefore, they started their place of trade in Dalal Street. That's how you will always see in the news, Dalal Street. One auspicious occasion started. Number of stockbrokers have increased to hundreds in India. At that point of time, they used to start an association. Whenever we have 10 people with us, we start some association or not fans association. This association is a traders association. In 1875, establishment of NSBA. What is NSBA? Native Share and Stockbrokers Association. Native Share and Stockbrokers Association have been started with the promoter. The first person who traded on the share has become the promoter of that particular company. Premchand Roychand is a promoter of this particular company called as association called as National Stock or Shares Native Share Broker Association. Association has started. That association is having a promoter with the name called as a Premchand Roychand. This happened on July 9th, 1875. February 2nd, 1921. Clearinghouse of BSE has started. What is clearinghouse? We will see in Scratch chapter. 1925, BSE Limited name has been given to that. Which company? BSE Limited. Till that time, the name is Native Share and Stockbrokers Association. Now that has changed to Bombay Stock Exchange Limited. Okay, in 1925, at the in the name of Companies Act at that time, 1907 Companies Act is there. That Companies Act. 1956, an act has come. Two acts have come. First one to regulate companies. Second one to regulate the stock exchanges in India. Regulating companies is the Companies Act. Regulating the stock exchange is the SCRA, Securities Contracts Regulation Act. This was happening which year? 1956. 1925 BSE. 1956 SCRA and Companies Act has come. In middle, one very important law has come to India to govern all kinds of capital issues. That means whenever one company in India is raising capital and issuing shares, some guidelines and some guidance and some regulations should be there or not. Therefore, they started an act called as COCI in the year 1945. COCI means Controller of Capital Issues. Controller of Capital Issues. This particular act has started in 1945. Years passed by. 1978 has come. 1978. Okay. So you can observe an important thing in this connection. Let me show you one point. So why suddenly this was opened? Okay. So I think everyone know this particular portfolio management model called as Sharpe's single index model. I think everyone know this. Sharpe's single index. Okay. This model is developed by a person called as a William Henry Sharpe. Okay. So why I am telling about all these things? The only idea behind, if you see the Wikipedia, that may be correct for us to understand. So this particular model called as a Sharpe's single index model. I am not going to explain this model now. What I want to tell is there is another corresponding point called as capital asset pricing model. So if you can see this particular model called as a capital asset pricing model, this capital asset pricing model, all these things have developed in early 1960s, 1964. All these things are developed in early 90s. Okay, 1960, 1970 they started this model inventions. Okay, this particular person who is called as a William Henry Sharpe has developed his Sharpe single index model in the early 1970s. 1969, 70. At that time, they started a model called as a capital asset pricing model, and they also started a model called as a Sharpe's single index model in SFM. That Sharpe's single index, name itself is telling index. Sharpe's single index. Single index means what? Even though my country is having two kinds of indices, this model is applicable only if that country is having a single index inside. That means India is having only BSC Sensex. That's all. If Nifty is also there, that model does not apply. Okay, that's what we already learned in SFM. So the main idea behind the Sharpe single index model is that model applies only if the country is having a single index inside. Then only that will apply. Am I clear, everyone? So in this connection, why suddenly we came? Yes, we need to learn. Yes, we need to learn. It's a mandatory to learn certain things. So law does not mean just reading that particular answer in question. నేను చాలా సార్లు చెప్పాను, మళ్ళీ అదే చెప్తున్నాను, కొంచెం జాగ్రత్తగా అర్థం చేసుకోండి. లా అర్థమైంది అంటే యూ షుడ్ అండర్స్టాండ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఇన్సైడ్. ఓకే, ఎందుకంటే వన్ ఆఫ్ ద ఇంటర్ప్రిటేషన్ రూల్ ఈజ్ హిస్టారిక్ ఇంటర్ప్రిటేషన్. అంటే ఏదైనా లా చదివేటప్పుడు హిస్టారిక్ సిచ్యువేషన్స్ని బేస్ చేసుకొని దాని ఎసెన్స్ని తీసుకుంటుంది కోర్ట్. అంటే అసలు ఆ లా ఎలా వచ్చి ఉంటుంది అని చదివి కానీ జడ్జిమెంట్లు పాస్ చేయదు కోర్ట్ ఎప్పుడు. టు బికమ్ a good lawyer, to become a perfect person to give a judgment, first you need to understand the historic setting very clearly. That's why I'm taking a elaborate session on SEBI. So 1969-70s time, concepts in financial management has closely improved. That means ఇండెక్సేషన్ కాన్సెప్ట్ ఫస్ట్ తీసుకొచ్చిన మోడల్ ఇండెక్స్ అనే కాన్సెప్ట్ వచ్చింది. క్యాపిటల్ మార్కెట్ లైన్ అనే ఒక కాన్సెప్ట్ నుంచి వచ్చింది ఇండెక్స్. విచ్ కాన్సెప్ట్? క్యాపిటల్ మార్కెట్ లైన్. దేర్ ఆర్ మెనీ మోడల్స్ విచ్ హ్యావ్ స్టార్టెడ్. మార్కోవిట్స్ థియరీ, ఎఫిషియంట్ పోర్ట్ఫోలియో, ఎఫిషియన్సీ కర్వ్స్. ఓకే, ఆఫ్టర్ దట్ యుటిలిటీ కాన్సెప్ట్స్. Later that has transformed into a concept called as a capital allocation line. Capital allocation line extended, this modified to capital market line, and in-depth issue. Capital market line, okay, this particular model which was started by William Henry Sharpe, this model has got a very good importance in financial management sector itself at that point of time. Generally, for your understanding sake, I can represent, this will be written as RF plus sigma P by sigma M into RM minus RF. If you can observe in your SFM, you can see this formula. Okay, later this was changed to RF plus beta into RM minus RF, it has become, where this beta we call as sigma S by sigma M into correlation of S and M. So this is all we will all review. You might already have a good knowledge about this in your SFM, but my intention is not to explain how these formulas came. My intention is to tell one very important point. Sigma M, sorry, so this pen is not working, just give me a minute. So pen battery over, reloaded. So listen, if you observe here, sigma M, what is sigma M? Risk of the market. What is a market? Kurugel market, fish market. Market means the entire stock portfolio in the index. ఇలా ఎప్పుడైతే సిగ్మా ఎం అనే కాన్సెప్ట్స్ వచ్చాయో, దే ఫౌండ్ అవుట్ ఎ కాన్సెప్ట్ కాల్డ్ యాజ్ ఏ ఇండెక్స్. మార్కెట్ ఈజ్ రిప్రజెంటెడ్ బై ఎ ఇండెక్స్. ఓకే, దట్ మీన్స్ ఫస్ట్ ఇండెక్స్ హ్యాస్ టు బి ఫౌండ్ ఆర్ నాట్. Index in India has started in the year 1978. All these things are facts. Okay, sir, I have a doubt. Search on internet. Without a thorough research, I will not come. So 1978, India has found its first index, BSC Sensex. Okay, has started with 100 points at the beginning stage. Okay, because I was completely involved in stock markets as an advisory for futures. Okay, I used to trade on futures, I used to advise on futures. Therefore, we used to have enough research whenever we do the stock trades. So with that intention, I'm telling you, 1978, the base year has been fixed for BSC with 100 points. 1980, name placed as, the one thing I need to make you clear about this, every time whenever there is a stock market transaction in India, we use it to listen about. So the index concept has started in the India in the early 1970, in the world in the early 1967, 68 at that point of time. and in India it has come in the year 1978. So the base year has made as 100 points that we already learned. Okay, so whenever I used to tell about Bombay Stock Exchange, we used to remember two important, one big tower building will be there. What is the tower? Dalal building, that's called as PJ Towers. That's called as PJ Towers. It was named after one of the most successful stockbrokers in India all time. That person is not Rakesh Junjunwala, etc. So, with the due respect, they are also great investors, but no sophistication and no technology is there. At that time, we used to read the market and invest. That person's name has been taken as a legacy to continue in India, and that person's name is Ferozji Jamshedji Jijiboi. So you can also search his name on internet, Ferozji Jamshedji Jijiboi. Generally in internet you will find the name as Feroz Jamshedji Jijiboi, but real name is Ferozji Jamshedji Jijiboi. So that tower's name is Feroz Jamshedji Jijiboi Towers, also called as a PJ Towers. Next, it is in the all the way back 1980s. 1986 January 2nd, 30 companies has formed BSC with the name called as Sensex. Till that time, name Sensex is not there in India. For your kind understanding, you might have already known all these things in your SFM, because these are the basics to learn before we start with any chapter. So what I want to tell is 30 companies have formed BSC not in the year 1978. 1978 index started. All companies used to be taken. But representative of 30 companies in Sensex has been taken in the year 1986, January 2nd. Okay. Next, April 1st, 1986, Sensex closed at 549 points. That means that 3 months period, 1986 January 2nd to April 1st, that means in the 3 months time, the market has increased 5.5 times. 100 has become 500. Okay, so market has increased. Positive signs on Indian stock market has started. Okay, 1995, 1986 in between, most important events in the Indian market has happened. The first important event that has happened is one person has become the Prime Minister of India who has changed the entire way India is operating, and we should be proud enough to tell that he is a person from Andhra Pradesh at that point of time. He is Mr. P.V. Narasimha Rao, the modern architect for the Indian financial structuring. So one of the greatest persons or the greatest Prime Minister world has ever seen. Many people, when apartheid happened, about that when he used to talk in the UNO, so these people used to get stunned about the the knowledge that P.V. Narasimha Rao has. So I think most of the people at this generation does not know who is P.V. Narasimha Rao. Okay, sadly our books also will not contain any chapter about him, but he is the modern architect for Indian financial restructuring. Indian financial market has become almost negligible. He has totally made a bump to the market, and India is today how it is today is because of one Prime Minister of India called as P.V. Narasimha Rao. After the P.V. Narasimha Rao, many laws were written in India or not. Many laws were written, like company law, etc. Always used to find a Narasimhan committee. Narasimhan committee is a token of gratitude towards one of the popular and eminent Prime Minister of India, P.V. Narasimha Rao. So P.V. Narasimha Rao is such a person who has first understood that COCI Act came in 1945. It has almost become a Path Chantakai Pachadi. Okay, 1945 Act, today it is 1991-92. How that Act will be becoming, how the Act can be used directly. So let's change the way. Let's not have only single Act. Let's form a autonomous body for stock markets. And that's how in the year 1988 COCI Act was deleted and SEBI has been introduced in the year 1988. So 1988 sir, SEBI Act 1992 kada. SEBI Act came in 1992. SEBI entity came in the year 1988 itself. Okay, 1988 SEBI has run for almost 4 years. 1992 SEBI Act has come into India. So COCI Act for a limited purpose has worked for 4 years. Okay, after the totally COCI has vanished in the year 1992 because of one person's judgment. and that's how SEBI has starts its existence in India. And the milestone for, or the first groundbreaking for SEBI has made when PV Narasimha Rao is Prime Minister of India. Okay, that person has thought that there is a need for a autonomous entity in India. Do you know from where he was inspired? He was inspired from American system of stock market. There they used to have Securities Exchange Commission, a separate autonomous body for regulation of stock markets. At that time, India does not have. Ministry of Finance used to see the stock market working. At that point of time, he thought that it should not be like that. There should be some autonomous body to regulate the stock markets, and that's how SEBI has come into existence. Okay, from the whole way around, we need to understand COCA got deleted, SEBI Act and SEBI came into existence. Once after that, at that point of time in the year 1992, when Prime Minister of India was PV Narasimha Rao, he also got an idea. Why not to start another stock exchange in India? We already have BSC since the 1925 itself. We are having 1975 stockbroker, Native Stockbrokers and Share Brokers Association started. 1925 BSC Limited incorporated by a change in the mode of doing that particular business. So 1925 BSC Limited came into existence as a conversion of AOP into company. He got an idea for the very first time. India needs another stock exchange, and that's how he has made Senkustapana for one of the biggest stock exchange in the world. That's called as the National Stock Exchange. That particular stock exchange in India has started in the year 1992 along with the SEBI Act because of the same Prime Minister. Okay, he found that there is a need for another stock exchange in India. That's how he started a stock exchange called as National Stock Exchange Limited. That was a company by its incorporation itself, having totally sophistication, and totally it was computerized at that point of time itself. At that point of time only, when PV Narasimha Rao is the Prime Minister of India, they launched a artificial satellite to control the supercomputers which are used by stock exchange. And that point of time, the particular supernaturals, that particular supercomputer which was launched into the Earth's orbit on the moon, that was operated by APJ Abdul Kalam. At that point of time, he got Bharat Ratna. So if you see the history, you can understand what is the greatness of one person who changed the way India is operating. Ee roju India ila undi ante ఆశ్చర్యార్థకం కాదు, and that's because of only one person called as PV Narasimha Rao. I'm not talking anything about Congress, BJP, etc. I'm talking about a person and his eminency. Okay, so that's a PV Narasimha Rao for India. So he has done many things. When you come to FEMA, you can understand many things. So FEMA, foreign exchange in India, means before PV Narasimha Rao, after PV Narasimha Rao. That you can tell. Okay, this is not the word said by me. Even in many interviews, many economists used to tell a lot about PV Narasimha Rao. You can see many documentaries about him are there. So he has written many books on financial literacy. So you must read those books to understand how historically India has started. So okay, anyway, one thing you need to understand, 1992 SEBI Act has started. SEBI entity also started. NSC started in 1992. At that time, opposition commented against him. India is lacking a trade in BSC itself. Why we want another stock exchange? Almost it is again 1,000 crores of investment is there on that at that point of time. 600-700 crores investment is there. So why you are wasting the money unnecessarily for stock exchanges? So what is the need? Immediately said that I am not incorporating a stock exchange called as NSC for today. I am visioning for future. That's how he has written one of his book called as Insider. The Insider is a book written by PV Narasimha Rao. In that, one of the chapter is Vision 2020. Vision 2020. అక్కడ విన్నట్టుంది కదా ఈ పేరు Vision 2020. ఆ తర్వాత చాలా మంది దాన్ని అంబికా జిరాక్స్ చేయించారు, అయ్యప్ప జిరాక్స్ చేయించారు ఆ Vision 2020ని. Really, the Vision 2020 is a work of one Prime Minister and a Telugu person called as PV Narasimha Rao. So that person has written a book called as The Insider. Andulo one of the part is Vision 2020. Okay, so Vision 2020 means he envisioned about how the future will be for India. At that point of time, he said, NSC start today. Let's make it computerized. Look, after 20 years, India will become the world leader in stock markets. And that's how the National Stock Exchange has incorporated in the year 1992. And today it has become world's third biggest stock exchange to trade on derivative futures. And it is Asia's biggest to trade on derivatives. So later in the year 1995, March 14th, BSE has started its own online trading portal again during his tenure, same tenure. They started another thing called as Bolt. The full form is BSE Online Trading. BSE Online Trading with a short abbreviation. So the acronym is Bolt, which will be called as a BSE Online Trading. So this is how the computerized trading platform has started. Previously in the year 1995, the trade cycle used to be T plus 30. That means if you start trading today, your account will be created with money or shares after 30 days. And that has reduced because of Bolt from T plus 30 to T plus 10 or T plus 11. Later in the recent time, they have reduced it to T plus 2. That means T day means a transaction will be crystallized on the same day. But money transfer, share transfer, etc. will happen in the next 2 days. So totally T plus 2, T plus 30, T plus 2. So you should understand how India has developed. So because of the same entity called as a Bolt, and that was also during his tenure. So you should understand one very important thing. Whatever India is seeing today, all the fruits, the seeds are sown by a person called as a PV Narasimha Rao. So that person, that's why he is called as a modern era Chanakya. That means he has immense knowledge on finance. So the greatness of a person will be there in his selections always. Selection. So that's why PV Narasimha was selected Manmohan Singh. He is a RBI governor at that time. Okay. He immediately picked him up, made him a finance minister to the cabinet. And that's how the duo, duo. That means these two people will be called as, these two people are called as a duo, the most powerful duo in the world at that time. So during PV Narasimha Rao tenure itself, he has shown that India is having a nuclear weaponry with the name called as a Pokhran bomb blast. All these things happened during his tenure. He has taken many kinds of vibrant decisions and bold decisions at that time. All kinds of decisions what he has taken, India is today. So 1988, like that, 1995 BSE online trading portal started. 2006 corporatization and demutualization started in India. So what is this corporatization demutualization? We will see in the chapter called as SCRA. Don't ask me now. 2009 SEBI ICDR guidelines have been started. That means whenever companies are going for listing, whenever company is making public issue, rights issue, institutional placement, preferential issue, or many things, whatever the issue you make, all issues are governed by one particular regulations set, a particular 1,000+ pages of regulations with the name called as SEBI ICDR regulations. Next one. Later 2015 SEBI LODR regulations have come. After you become a listed company, what sort of communication you are making to the outside world? That means you are a listed company. Many people invested in your company. They are having certain doubts about you. They want to know your profit results on a quarterly basis. Give that. That's called as interim financial reporting. One of the idea behind LODR regulations. LODR, listing obligation disclosure requirement. Disclosure. D means disclosure. What disclosures we need to make to public? So, is it possible to make every disclosure to every shareholder independently and individually by going to his home or by sending a post? Therefore, they have made a ecosystem in such a way that every listed company has to communicate to the recognized stock exchange. I repeat once again, every listed company has to communicate to the recognized stock exchange in which your shares are listed. That listed entity will intimate to the stock exchange, and that stock exchange will publish a newspaper advertisement the very next working day to make it aware to the public. That's how the communication will go to public. And there is another need for this. If you communicate directly to the public, it will be like our newspaper communication. One newspaper will be favored to one person, and the newspaper will be favored to another person. What he said is wrong about the opposition. What he said is wrong about the ruling party. Newspapers will be divided. Therefore, if business communications are also like this, I run a newspaper. Example, I run a newspaper. Ambani will give me some funding. I will write against Tata Group. Okay, Tata will never give funding to anyone. They are working 100% with the transparency. Let's say Reliance Paniyadi. So they will give money to a newspaper and they will make us to write something good about them and bad about others. I will write. Business newspapers also, if they run on the basis of money and others, then what is the purpose of stock market? Therefore, don't communicate directly to public. Communicate to stock exchange. Stock exchange will filter the information. Truths and false behind that will be taken, and remaining information which is 100% true will be informed to the public in the form of a newspaper. And that's how LODR guidelines have started in India, and that's applicable for our exams. Later, 2009 ICDR guidelines are becoming Pata Chantikai Pachadi again. 2018 ICDR amended regulations have been introduced. ఈ విషయంలో ఒక చిన్న పాయింట్, మనకి సిలబస్లో సిఏ ఫైనల్ సిలబస్లో ఎల్ఓడిఆర్తో పాటు 2017 దాకా ఐసిడిఆర్ రెగ్యులేషన్స్ కూడా ఎగ్జామ్కి అప్లికబిలిటీ ఉండేది. ప్రీవియస్లీ ఫర్ ద ఓల్డ్ సిలబస్ ICDR ఆల్సో యూజ్డ్ టు బి దేర్. ఓకే, new syllabus has come in the year 2017 and 2018 effectively it started. At that time, syllabus shrinking has happened or not recently, syllabus deletion. At the time, ICDR regulations have been deleted from syllabus. Students are really very happy because it is another 80 to 90 pages material at that time. ICDR regulations are deleted, fantastic. Do you know why institute deleted? It deleted because 2017 and 2018 old ICDR regulations are there. New ICDR regulations have started in the year 2018 which are not yet effective. Therefore, institute don't want to ask these old things in examination. If my estimation is right, in another 1 year or in another 2 to 3 items, again they will reintroduce this into the syllabus. Okay, let's pray not to get included, but if it is included also, no surprise. So 2018 SEBI ICDR amended guidelines have been released, regulations. Okay, 2020 CA final examinations will be conducted. This is how the structure of our syllabus, and this is how the SEBI has started its existence in India. So this is what I want to make you aware about before we start with the chapter. Okay, so the main point is we have started with a chapter called as Securities and Exchange Board of India Act 1992. So starting from 1855 and with 2020, this is a basic introduction to understand how SEBI has started its existence and how the security, and this is not introduction to SEBI, this is introduction to the whole securities market. Okay, here one political thing also happened in there. 1994 la Shiva Sena has taken the power in Maharashtra. Thereafter they have changed the name from Bombay to Mumbai. Mumbai was named after their goddess named Mumba Devi, Mumba, Mumba Devi. As a token of worship towards her, they named the Bombay as a Mumbai. That's how in the year 1994, when Shiva Sena came to power, they have changed the name from Bombay to Mumbai. Okay, that's how the name has changed. But many people will know only Bombay Stock Exchange. Therefore, they don't want to change it to MSC. Mumbai Stock Exchange, it doesn't sound good. Bombay Stock Exchange is having some power inside, so therefore they continued that name even till today. That's the first doubt you should get. Sir, Mumbai Stock Exchange ana leda, inka Bombay Stock Exchange antadu enti? Sir, is there any stock exchange in India called as a Bombay Stock Exchange today? No. Do you know or not? It is not Bombay Stock Exchange. It's a BSE. BSE full form Bombay Stock Exchange, but the original name today is BSE Limited only. Okay, so because the Bombay is no more used in any of the legislatures in India, parliamentarian way, it has changed in the year 1995 itself totally. Okay, so anyway, that's entirely different story. 1855 India was the first opened to the outside world through the Suez Canal open. So directly they came to Mumbai, they started trade. 1860, 1865, 74, 75, 21, 25, 56, 78, like that the journey has passed, and this is how India is today. So why I am telling all these things is to have a clarity. This is the introduction to the concept called as SEBI. Let us now jump into the main part. So let us start with our act called as Securities and Exchange Board of India Act. Okay, Securities and Exchange Board of India Act 1992. This is the name of the act. So how this Securities and Exchange Board of India Act has started in India, all these things we already learned. 1 hour session completely we spent on historic setting. Let us now go into our syllabus contents now. So the thing that we need to understand before we start with this story, in our syllabus SEBI will be asked for 6 marks, I have already said. We are going to cover each and every pinpoint. SEBI Act, first I want to break this. This act being SEBI Act is having four portions. First one will be, SEBI and its functions. SEBI Act la SEBI. Okay, SEBI is an entity regulated by SEBI Act. Okay, SEBI constitution, who will be there inside SEBI, all these things is the first part of the story. Second one will be, there is a appellate tribunal called as a SAT, second part of the story. Third part will be special court. Fourth part will be the administration of stock exchange and penalties. These are four parts of our SEBI chapter. 100% question comes only from our material. No chance a question can flow outside. I am the guarantee. If any question comes, then tag me on Facebook and post. A question in SEBI has come, which is not discussed in the class. I can't tell which question will come from the syllabus. I can assure you, definitely it comes only from our material. Okay. In history, there is no situation where question came outside the material. Okay. Because I use it to teach everything inside this chapter. And very importantly, our concentration not only on company law, economic laws also we use it to learn in the same way. So that's how we are successful here. So main thing is, every chapter will be completed in the same way. No inferiority to certain chapters and no superiority to some other chapters. Every chapter will be dealt in the same way. So listen carefully. SEBI Act is having how many portions? From now, please concentrate. That is history. Okay. Even if you didn't remember the concepts exactly, though understood the whole structure, no problem. From here, you should have full sense activated. So listen carefully. First thing, SEBI Act is having four portions for the syllabus. First one will be Constitution of SEBI. Second one will be the SAT. SAT means what? Kuchodangadu. SAT means not sit SAT. SAT represents Securities Appellate Tribunal, Special Court, and administration of stock exchanges and our administration of SEBI and penalties inside. Okay. In examination, which will be asked randomly, he will ask questions in exam. Last attempt, this question came. Previous last attempt, this chapter has come. This part has come. Okay. Previous one, this has come. Sir, aite isari idadutar sir. Adi overaction. We don't know which will be asked in examination. So don't anticipate anything. If it comes well and good, anyway, we are going to start first with SEBI only now. But still, don't make any anticipation. The order is passed like this. Okay, in the last 3 attempts, I have seen 6, 6, 6. Always the questions are coming in this way. So, we are going to start with the SEBI chapter. So, these are all the charts on SEBI. Every chapter, I have prepared the color charts. It is at the preparation stage only. It has to get completed. It will take another 15 days minimum. Okay, that means the charts once prepared, that becomes the industry's best charts available compared with any other charts what you have. Okay, it's not just a chart, it contains everything inside. Whatever is applicable for examination, I try to merge into the charts such that it will be easy at the preparation time. So let's observe this. These are all the charts that are available with regard to SEBI. Okay, like this it continues. So this is the original material. Sir, one thing, don't prepare from the charts. Charts should be for revision. Okay, though it contains everything what is in the material, it should only form part of your revision. When you are reading, read only the bare contents. Okay, bare contents means I have made the bare act to be represented in the form of subsections here. So please have a look. Preamble to the act. Preamble means what? Objective. Sir, there are two acts, SCRA, SEBI. Many people will get a general doubt. Sir, Securities Contracts Regulation Act governs capital market, okay, stock exchanges, etc. And SEBI is also governing the same. Why two acts are there? SEBI Act and Securities Contract Regulation. Can't we have only single act? SCRA governs stock exchanges. SEBI governs capital markets. SCRA governs stock exchanges. SEBI governs capital markets. SEBI main governance will be not on stock exchanges. SEBI main governance will be on listed entities and issue of securities. Okay, it is a securities exchange. Securities and Exchange Board. securities. My intention is not on stock market, my intention is on the stocks traded. Okay, so SEBI concentration is on companies, listed entities and stocks. SCRA target is on stock exchanges. Okay, so two different chapters, but one thing I can tell, నేర్చుకునేటప్పుడు వినేటప్పుడు అయిపోయిన తర్వాత you will be 100% confident enough and you will be liking the subject first. ఏంటి ఇలా రన్ అవుతున్నాయి స్టాక్ ఎక్స్చేంజెస్ ఇండియాలో, ఓ దిస్ ఈజ్ హౌ ద స్టాక్ ఎక్స్చేంజెస్ యాక్చువల్లీ వర్క్, వాట్ డూ మీన్ బై స్టాక్ బ్రోకర్, సబ్ బ్రోకర్, ట్రస్టీస్, స్పాన్సర్స్, అండర్ రైటర్స్, అందరి గురించి డిస్కషన్ జరుగుతుంది ఈ చాప్టర్లో. సో దిస్ చాప్టర్ విల్ గివ్ యూ ఇమ్మెన్స్ నాలెడ్జ్ అబౌట్ ద స్టాక్ మార్కెట్స్, ఇమ్మెన్స్ నాలెడ్జ్. ఐఎమ్ నాట్ జస్ట్ టేకింగ్ బేసిక్, ఇమ్మెన్స్ నాలెడ్జ్. హౌ స్టాక్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్స్ యాక్చువల్లీ హ్యాపెన్, వాట్ ఈస్ అ క్లియరింగ్ కార్పొరేషన్, trade settlement, T+2 means what, how it actually get traded. Everything we will look practically in this particular session. Here and there I will also mix the masala of stock market live sessions such that you can understand more about how stock markets actually works. Okay, so anyway, so now see, preamble to the act. Objective, why SEBI Act has come, purpose. SEBI comes for stock markets, stock exchanges, or to securities market or listed companies, etc. Listed companies. Main idea is to protect the investors. Main idea is to protect the investors. Investors are getting cheated ruthlessly. Therefore, I want to protect them. So that protection is provided through an act called as SEBI. So an act to provide establishment of a board. Sir, whenever I call board, boards are always autonomous entities. What do you mean by autonomous entity? They have their own provisions to appoint persons to deal with it, etc. So that will be under a particular ministry, and this board is autonomous always. That's why CBDT, Central Board for Direct Taxes, control being taken by the Ministry of Finance. Central Board of Indirect Taxes, that will be controlled by Ministry of Finance. Okay, this SEBI, Ministry of Finance again. All these are parts of Ministry of Finance. Okay, this SEBI is a board, it's not a ministry in itself. Rarely act has a ministry in itself. The one of the biggest act in India which is having its own ministry without a board, direct ministry control, Companies Act, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. It's not having any board, it is directly controlled by the ministry, most powerful. So direct taxes is controlled by a board which is in the control of the Ministry of Finance. But Companies Act is not like that. Companies Act ఏ వేరు, దాని వర్కింగే వేరు, దాని స్థాయి వేరు, దాని స్థానం వేరు. So that's completely different. The working itself is unique. So it is directly it is controlled by Ministry of Finance, no board in middle. But these acts are having a board. This board will be controlled again. Companies Act control directly Finance Ministry control. Okay, sorry, Ministry of Corporate Affairs control. So anyway, I think everyone understand up to here. Board is an autonomous body. It have its own rules. ఎప్పుడైనా బోర్డ్ అన్నాను అంటే board is a body corporate. Board is a body corporate. It will purchase its own assets. It will sell its own assets. Okay, it has its own rules. It has all characters of a company. All characters of a company. Can I give you one small example? BCCI, a board for control of cricket in India. Board for control of cricket in India. That's also a board. That's an autonomous entity. Okay, Ministry of Sports Authority control. So first thing we need to understand is an act to provide establishment of a board, autonomous entity. It has its own rules, regulations, etc. Okay, that has its own act in itself. So the board to protect interests of investors in securities. I don't want to, so for example, I made investment in bank. Bank, which bank? SBI, fixed deposit I made. SBI bank is cheating me. Can this SEBI protect me? No. I will only protect the investors in securities. Fixed deposit is not a security, I will not protect them. Idea clear. And to promote development of and regulation of. First to develop, once a development is made, you should regulate, or else unnecessarily it will be going out of the streamline. Development should be always coupled with regulations. Regulation jarigitene development jaragalante regulate avvali. So both are coupled with together. So both are coterminous, rendu kalisi nadavalsinde, developments and regulations. So therefore, to promote development and to regulate the securities market, this securities market only we call as a capital market. And matters connected, other incidental, whatever I want to achieve. The main objective is to achieve, protect the interests of investors. Second one is development and regulation of securities market. Third one, whatever you want to do as a main object, certain incidental things we need to do or not, all these things you can do. So that's a high preamble behind the concept called as SEBI. sorry. So, preamble to the Act. An act to provide for establishment of a board. Purpose to protect interests of investors, to promote development and regulation of securities market, and for matters incidental thereto. So you can also read that. You can also read this. This is easy to understand since chart means immediately your brain can take the photo snap. So immediately you can remember. So everything will be there. Whatever you read in the material will also be denoted in a simplified format. Okay. This question has nothing to simplify. Therefore, I have written directly. Certain difficult questions will be there. I have simplified in this way. Okay. So anyway, one thing we need to understand. And next one. Short title, extent and commencement. Name of the act, SEBI. And extent to whole of India. Commencement 31/1992. It has started. 31/1992. Next. See, short title. It's called as a SEBI, whole of India, 31/1992. Two questions completed. Definitions not applicable for syllabus. Institute has recently deleted. Don't read any definitions in SEBI. But to make you understand, I have given 3 definitions in our charts notes, and here all the definitions are given only for your understanding. Just read and leave. Board means SEBI. Collective investment scheme means the scheme which is specified in section number 11 AA. Collective investment scheme, we will spend almost 1 hour to understand the background of collective investment scheme. So how it actually works, collective investment scheme, we need to understand what is a trust. At the time I will explain everything in detail. So you need not bother, though not in syllabus. Not in syllabus means what? Background is not in syllabus. Institute study material, if you see, I told you, right hand, left hand paralysis. He will not give any kind of background. He will ask student to know the background. I don't know how it is possible, except with the faculty. So I don't know. So main point is collective investment scheme, section number 11 AA of the SEBI Act will specify what is a CIS. But why CIS? How it started in India, that we learn in before we start with the topic. So judicial member, technical member, we will discuss about this later. Please don't pressure me to discuss about all these things. Definitions not applicable for exam. Though not applicable, these names are sometimes used inside this act. At the time, I will come back to definitions and deal with. Next. Establishment and incorporation of the board. Establishment details. With effect from such date as the central government may, by notification, appoint, there shall be established for the purposes of this act, board by the name Securities and Exchange Board. Main intention is who will establish? Central government will establish by notification official gazette. Okay, it will form a board with the name called as SEBI. Simply who start? Central government. With the name, what is started? Ministry? No, board with a name called as SEBI. Answer completed. I told you already, SEBI is always a body corporate. Body corporate has all the company features. So it is a body corporate with perpetual succession. That means the authorities may come and go, but SEBI will be there forever. Common seal. Whenever SEBI gives judgment, SEBI seal will be, official seal will be affixed and embossed on that. And since it is have body corporate, it can acquire its own properties, it can sell, etc. Next one, contract in its own name, capacity to sue and to be sued. A general characters of a company. Head office in Mumbai and branches are in certain other places as may be deemed fit. So please have a look into this. So next one, management of the board. Management of the board. So what is this management of the board? Whenever SEBI started, there should be certain persons inside the board or not. So who will be there? Observation. One chairman, 2 members should be there. One among them should be from Ministry of Finance. One among them from Ministry of Corporate Affairs. One member from RBI. 5 other members having versatile knowledge. In that, at least 3 shall be the whole time members. Okay. If you read like this, yes, you can understand. But charts will help you in this area. Okay. Observe this. Establishment and incorporation of the board. Establishment details. CG shall establish the board by name SEBI. Incorporation features. Body corporate purpose section commons elected property etc. All these things. Head office in Mumbai, branch office as decided by central government. So you know SEBI branch is there in Vijayawada? Yes, it is there. It is there. If any person who is listening to this video, if you are from Vijayawada or if you know Vijayawada, exactly opposite to the metro, big this Walmart metros are there na metro in Vijayawada, Bandar Road. In metro opposite exactly there is a building, that's a SEBI building. So SEBI branch is also there in Vijayawada. SEBI branch is there in Hyderabad. SEBI branch is there in major cities in India. Okay, central government will decide when to establish or not. When Vijayawada became the capital, immediately SEBI started its branch here in order to regulate companies. But sadly, once it started, companies went back. Okay, that's entirely different story, sad story of Andhra Pradesh, so that we can understand later. But one thing, management of the board. So composition of the board. First one, who will be there inside SEBI to regulate? So the composition. First party will be the chairman. One chairman. Two members are required, in which one will be from Ministry of Finance, another from MCA. Members from RBI, one member, and 5 other members are required, of which at least 3 shall be the whole-time members. So observe again. First one, composition. Who will be there? One chairman, 2 members. In this, one will be from Ministry of Finance, one will be from Ministry of Corporate Affairs. One member designated from RBI. 5 other members. In that 3 must be minimum whole time. Now everyone, don't see this. Please answer everyone. Please answer as if you are there in the class in front of me. Please genuinely answer this. First one, composition of SEBI. Chapani. In this, how many are there? First one will be one chairman, 2 members. In that, one will be from the Ministry of Finance, one will be from the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, and 1 member from RBI. 5 other members, in which 3 must be at least part-time or whole-time. Whole-time members. Now let us see practically whether this is really working in India or not. Okay, see here. These people are the board members. Board means what? Not board of directors. Board members. Members of the board. SEBI. Okay. First one. What we have read? One chairman. So Ajay Tyagi is the chairperson now. Chairman of SEBI. One person. Now tell me. Every time let us do some reconciliation. Okay. Let me rub this. Let us check whether reconciliation is perfect or not. You should tell. One chairman. One chairman condition is satisfied or not? Yes. One chairman. Satisfied. Next. After that, what is the condition that we just read now? What is the condition we read? Condition is there should be 2 members. One from Ministry of Finance, another from Ministry of Corporate Affairs. See here. G. Mahalingam, this is another person. He is a whole-time member SEBI. Whole-time member SEBI. Which member? Whole-time member SEBI. Okay. Whole-time member SEBI. Well and good. Keep it aside. Next. Madhabi Puri Bach. This person is also 1 member. So, whole-time member again. How many whole-time members we require in the 4th point? 4th point. How many we require? Sir, we read 4 points now. 1 chairman, first point. 2 from Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. RBI. And 4th one is the members. A, chairman. B, ministries. C, RBI. D will be 5 members in this. 3 must be whole time. D point. That's why they are writing section 4 subsection 1 clause D. Section 4 subsection 1 clause D. Okay. Matched or not? That's how you should learn the concept. Okay. 5 members. In that 3 must be minimum whole time. Let's see whether 3 whole time are there or not. Whole time. Now tell me. Whole time and whole time. Condition of section 4(1)D satisfied or not? Yes. Next, let us move down. Oh, another person is also there. Ananda Barua. This person is also another whole time. We need at least 3 must be whole time. Can we have more than 3? Yes. 4 whole time are there as of now in India today in SEBI. 4 whole time members. Okay. Next, part time members. Atanu Chakraborty, this person is a part-time member. So now tell me, part-time members can be coming from ministry, or they may come from RBI, or they may come in the fourth slab as well. Now tell me, you should answer whether part-time or full-time leave off. One person should be there from Ministry of Finance. One person should be there from Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Yes or no? Let us see. Department of Economic Affairs, Ministry of Finance. He came from Ministry of Finance. Condition satisfied. Now reconcile. Do we have at least 3? We have 4 now. Condition satisfied. Okay. Part-time members, 1 or 2 part-time members, maybe 1 part-time member is also allowed. 1 part-time member will come here. Satisfied. Chairman satisfied. 2 members, 1 Ministry of Finance also satisfied. Let us check another condition. Vishwanathan, part-time member, Deputy Governor, Reserve Bank of India. Why this person is there? To satisfy the next condition. So this Reserve Bank condition is also satisfied. Sir, Ministry of Corporate Affairs condition not satisfied, sir. See here. KVR Murthy, part-time member, again SEBI, under section 4(1)(b) of the Act, joint secretary to the MCA. So this condition is also satisfied. Now 2 members condition also satisfied. Everything is taken. Section what we are reading has been applied practically in India today. Okay, Talia. Okay, this is how it actually happens in India. So the main point that I need to convey in this connection is, yes, SEBI what it say in the Act actually it is following today. Okay, even better than that. So this is a basic composition of SEBI, how it actually works. So we now learned these questions. Now tell me, what is the composition of the board? 1 chairman, 2 members among themselves from Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Corporate Affairs, and 1 member from the RBI, and 5 other members should be there. At least 3 must be whole time. Appointed by whom? Central government, Ministry of Finance. Central government means Ministry of Finance. And powers vest with the board of members. So not board of directors. Here all of them are called as members. Therefore board members we will call, or board of members we will call. So they will do the general superintendence, direction and management of the affairs of the board, shall vest with the board of members. They will access whatever company can do. That can be done by directors or not. Likewise, whatever the SEBI can do, that can be done by this particular persons. Next one. What are the qualifications required? Sir, obviously when it comes from ministry, they have qualification. Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. 5 other members, chairperson and 5 other members, we read or not. Chairperson and 5 other members. These people's qualification are only covered. RBI governor means already he is having well qualification. Okay, these are 5 members and first chairman. What are his requisite qualifications required? Ability, integrity and standing. Okay, to have shown capacity in dealing with the problems relating to the securities market. Simply, he must be capable to deal with all kinds of problems that come in securities market. Who should have a capability? The chairman of the board. Next, chairman of the board. And all the other 5 members should have a capacity. Okay. Next one. Special knowledge in all these areas. One is law, finance, economics, accountancy and administration. Just it's a remembrance answer. Okay, remember that means these are requisite areas to run a securities market. Financial management, the SFM, what we call, is a branch of economics. You should have a knowledge. Obviously this is controlled by the finance knowledge. SEBI is all about a law, therefore law knowledge should be there. Okay, and every person who deals with listed companies should also have a capability to read and understand their financials. Therefore accountancy, and you are managing the SEBI, administration knowledge should also be there. 5 areas are there. First one will be law, finance, economics, accountancy and administration. Okay, so this is the answer. Now the tenure of office, conditions of service of chairman and other members of the board. So let's try to understand in detail what this section deal about. One thing we need to understand. Totally, who are the members that are there inside SEBI? Everyone listening to the class, please answer yourself. Me pakkana intlo unde vallu evaru bhayapadda parla. Answer matram andaru gattiga cheppandi. First one will be who are there inside SEBI. List cheppandi. First one, 1 chairman, 2 members. In the 2, 1 from Ministry of Finance, another from Ministry of Corporate Affairs, and 1 from RBI, and 5 other members are there. Yes or no? Now, let's take clause number B and clause number C. B talks about Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Okay. C talks about RBI. RBI governors all these people and Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Who the hell are you to fix their tenure? నువ్వెవడి వాళ్ళ టెన్యూర్లు ఫిక్స్ చేయడానికి? ఆ రేంజ్కి వచ్చిన వాడికి నువ్వు టెన్యూర్లు ఫిక్స్ చేసుకుంటావా? Therefore, law says that you can't fix the tenure. Ministry, when they are appointing, they will fix the tenure. But SEBI can fix the tenure only of two persons. One is chairman, another is 5 members. Okay. Section deals with the term of office and conditions of service, including termination of office of chairman and 5 other members. Note, section does not deal with appointment and term of office of ministry members and RBI member. Next one, power of CG. First thing we need to understand, what is the tenure? Once a member is appointed, that means a chairperson or 5 members are appointed, maximum they can hold office for a period of 5 years, and they have to quit the office if they attain age of 65 years. Attain the age of 65, that means completes 64 and comes to 65. I attained the age of 65, that's all. You will lose the office. So, okay, this is the point. Next one, CG power to terminate and power of members to terminate. Sir, what is this? CG can remove the members of the board. CG can remove the members of the board at any time, and its members inside can also give their voluntary resignation. Okay, in this connection, first listen, later you can read. Two situations can come. CG want to terminate your tenure. Can it? Yes. In two ways it can do. Options are there. How many? Two options. One, inform the member 3 months prior and ask him to retire. Second one is remove immediately and give 3 months salary. ఈ రెండిట్లో ఏదైనా చెయ్యి. నీకు కాంపెన్సేషన్ ఇవ్వడం ఇష్టం లేకపోతే 3 నెలల ముందు చెప్పు. 3 నెలల ముందు చెప్తే ఇంక కాంపెన్సేషన్ ఇవ్వక్కర్లా. సడన్గా చెప్పి బయటికి పంపించేటైతే 3 months salary కాంపెన్సేషన్ ఇచ్చి బయటికి పంపి. సార్, ఐఎమ్ ఏ మెంబర్, ఐ వాంట్ టు వాలంటరీలీ రిజైన్ అండ్ గో. ఇప్పుడు కూడా 3 months salary ఇస్తాడా? ఇస్తాడు. ఎంత తెగరిస్తాను ఇస్తాడు. సో అలాంటి కాన్సెప్ట్ ఏమీ లేదు. ఇఫ్ యూ వాలంటరీ ఎగ్జిట్, ఐ విల్ నాట్ పే యూ 3 months salary, బట్ యూ షుడ్ ఇన్ఫార్మ్ 3 months in advance. I repeat once again, everyone. Termination can be of two types. Termination through CG, voluntary termination. If you terminate because of the action of CG, you can terminate, but CG has to give a notice prior 3 months. If it can't give prior 3 months notice, it should at least pay 3 months salary and ask you to exit. So if you voluntarily want to exit from SEBI, yes, you can do that, but 3 months prior notice should be given. No salary will be paid as a compensation. That's what is specified here. Okay, so this is what I want to convey. Next one, removal of members of the board. Removal of members of the board. Who will remove the members of the board? CG has to remove. Termination is a official honorable way to make your exit. Removal means all of a sudden it will make. Okay, removal can happen only on some extraordinary grounds. Termination can happen on various grounds. A better substitute came, I will ask you to terminate and then I will make others to come. Removal concept, there is no compensation. 3 months notice, everything not required. If you want to remove him immediately, you need not pay any kind of compensation. Okay, removal can happen immediately. Okay, so what are the grounds? Member became insolvent. Member became insolvent, or member became unsound mind in the opinion of a competent court, or he is convicted of a offense involving moral turpitude and he has abused his position. Immediately remember these 4 points, enough. For examination, remember the 4 points. Point number 1, member became insolvent. Insolvent, unsound mind, convicted of an offense involving moral turpitude, abused his position which is detrimental to the public interest. Okay, abuse, adhikara durviniyogam. If you do that, I will remove you. But before removal, what chance will be given? Opportunity of being heard. So no member shall be removed under this clause unless he has been given an opportunity of, unless he has given an opportunity of, opportunity of being heard. Okay, how many grounds are there for removal? 4 grounds. What are the 4 grounds of removal of a member? Number 1, ground of removal: insolvent, unsound mind, convicted of an offense involving moral turpitude, abuse of position. Okay, what should be given before removal? Opportunity of being heard. Who can remove? Central government. Answer completed. Next, meetings of the board. What is this meetings of the board? Listen, SEBI is not a court. First thing, SEBI is not a court. SEBI will meet regular intervals, at least one time in any 2 to 3 days. It will have the meetings. SEBI will conduct hundreds of meetings during a year. Okay, whenever SEBI, sir, just now I told you, SEBI is like a company. Company decisions will be taken at a board meeting. Like here, SEBI is a board. Board will conduct a meeting. Their members will be attending. Which member? Chairman. Just now we read members of finance, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Corporate. All these members will attend. Whenever a case comes to SEBI, SEBI is not a court. Whenever case comes to SEBI, SEBI will conduct a meeting. For example, weekly one meeting is conducted in SEBI. Whatever the cases that comes into the SEBI purview during that week will be discussed in a meeting and they will pass a judgment. Okay. For example, you made an application to SEBI. One particular case file has come to SEBI. SEBI will conduct a meeting. In that agenda will be one of this. There will be hundreds of agenda. In this, one of the agenda will be this. They will take the agenda, they will decide. Always SEBI decides through meetings. Always SEBI decides through what? Meetings. In the meetings, there should be a chairman or not. Chairman of the SEBI is there or not? Now, Tyagi. That person will be the chairman of the meeting. But if the chairman is not present at the meeting premises due to many reasons, then meeting will not be cancelled, meeting will not be adjourned. Other members will attend the meeting or not. In that, all the members will decide and elect one person to become the chairman of that particular meeting. He will not become chairman of SEBI. He will become chairman for that meeting. Therefore, they will call him as a presiding member. He is called as what member? Presiding member. I repeat once again, whatever decisions are to be taken by SEBI will be taken independently or individually by any member or through meeting. In that meeting, majority voting should be there. Meeting means it should start. Starting of a meeting will happen through chairman. If the chairman of SEBI comes to the meeting, well and good. If the chairman is absent, meeting will not be cancelled, meeting will not be adjourned. One of the member amongst the members will be elected as a chairman of that meeting, also called as a presiding member. Okay. When there is a clash in voting, for example, there are 8 members present at the meeting. How many? 8 members. 4 voted in favor, 4 voted against, along with chairman. Chairman can also vote. 4 voted in favor, 4 voted against. In such a situation, what to do? The chairman will have a casting vote. If the chairman is not present, presiding officer will be there or not, that presiding member will have a casting vote. Casting vote means second vote. That's what said in these 3. Make your observation. Okay, if the same is represented in the form of a chart, this was completed already. So, tenure of office. What section deals with? Term of office, conditions of service, termination of office. This is a term, this is termination of what? Chairperson and 5 other members. Term of office and age limits. Who is covered? Chairman and whole time member. Maximum tenure will be 5 years and maximum age limit will be attainment of 65 years. Next one. CG power to terminate. CG power to terminate by giving 3 months notice in writing or by giving a 3 months salary. Power of chairman or members power to resign by giving a minimum 3 months notice in writing. Next, removal. Who has a power to remove? Central government. Grounds of removal: adjudicated as insolvent, unsound mind, convicted of an offence involving moral turpitude, abuse of position, and principles of natural justice to be followed. Therefore, OBH shall be given before removal. And meetings of the board. Manner of meetings decided by the SEBI regulations. And chairman of meetings and exceptions. If the chairman is present at the meeting, then he shall be the chairman of the meeting itself. Okay. Next one. Any member, if chairperson is not present, any member chosen by other members present shall become the presiding officer. This will happen if the chairperson is present or chairman is absent. Chairman is absent. Next one. Voting. All questions shall be decided by majority of votes. Majority of votes means whose voting will be taken? Those who are present and voted will be taken. Okay. If the chairmen are unable to attend, sorry, wrong chart has made. If the chairperson is unable to attend the meeting, that should come here. Okay, then members will choose among them one person who will be becoming the presiding officer. All questions decided by the majority of votes. In case of equality of votes, chairman or presiding officer shall have the casting vote. This is what we learned now. Okay, one small rectification I have to make. That's why charts are completed, but small rectifications and coloring etc is still pending. That will be completed in another 10-15 days it will take, because there are almost 600 charts totally. So it will take some time, but once completed, that becomes the best in India. I am assuring you that that becomes the best standard material charts for the entire India in regard to the law syllabus. Definitely, definitely. Out of many feedbacks, I am preparing this with a lot of efforts because of this lockdown time that is available. It will become the industry's best chart material. So anyway, one thing I want to convey in this connection. So if the chairperson is present, then he will become the chairperson. If the chairman of the SEBI is not present, then any of the member will preside over the meeting with the concurrence of other members. Next issue. Let us see the Bayer Act. 8 questions are completed. Member not to participate in meetings in certain cases. Members not to participate in meeting in certain cases. Sir, what is members not to participate in meetings in certain cases? For example, Reliance India Limited case has come to SEBI. Okay, in Reliance India Limited, I am a director and I am also having some relation with the case which comes into. For example, Reliance India Limited has went to issue of shares, listing of shares. I am one of the subscriber. Listen carefully. There is a company called as Reliance India Limited. I am one of the member of SEBI. I am one of the member of SEBI. One of the member of SEBI, and I am also a shareholder come director in that company. Okay, shareholder has a monetary interest or any other interest. Monetary is also called as a pecuniary interest. Okay, I am having a pecuniary interest in Reliance and I am also a director in Reliance. Okay, and the Reliance case come to SEBI. Automatically, tell me with common sense, decisions in board meeting of SEBI, I will take a decision in favor of Reliance, against Reliance, favor of Reliance. That means I am a member of SEBI and I am a director of Reliance, a company which came as a case, and I am also having a pecuniary interest in that particular case. In such situations, your voting will be in favor of that party or not. Therefore, law says that please don't participate, please don't vote during that particular decision making. So, any member who is a director of a company and who as such director is having a direct or indirect pecuniary interest in any matter coming up for consideration at a meeting of the board shall, as soon as after relevant circumstances, if he comes into the knowledge of that particular, disclose the nature of his interest, how you are interested. Director, which director? Additional director, managing director, which director? Please tell that. At such meeting, and such disclosure shall be recorded in the proceedings of the board. That means you have to record in the minutes of SEBI. Okay, and members shall not take part in deliberations or decision of the board. Deliberation means discussions in the board. Decisions means voting with respect to that matter. If that matter, adi ayipote malli vachi kuchochu vadu. The same we will see also in companies a quorum concept. Okay, simply tell me, I am a member of SEBI, I am a director of company, and I am also having a pecuniary interest, and that particular company has come up for consideration of a matter to the SEBI. At that time, can I participate? No. Can I vote? No. I have to make a disclosure how I am interested in that particular company and leave the meeting premises and go out when the decision is being taken. This is all. Conditions. Condition number 1. Condition number 1. He is a member of SEBI. He is also a director of a company whose matter has come up to the consideration. He is having a pecuniary interest in that matter. Okay. In such a case, he should disclose the interest. In such case, what is the duty of such member? First one, disclose the nature of interest. Next one, disclosure shall be recorded in the minutes, and he shall not take part in the meeting. Answer completed. Okay. Next one, vacancies etc. This question we can't understand as of now. We will discuss at the end of this particular chapter. But one thing you should make it very clear that we now completed the following questions. First one is preamble completed, second one short title completed, third one anyway not there, fourth one establishment completed, fifth one management of the board completed, sixth one term of office completed, seventh one removal completed, eighth one meetings of the board completed, ninth one member not to participate in the meetings in certain cases also completed. Now we completed the area of SEBI administrative the basics of SEBI has been completed. Before we move into the administrative functions of SEBI, there are another 12 questions on this. Okay, so before we start with this, I want to introduce you to the second part. What I said when I start with the chapter SEBI Act itself is having four parts: SEBI, SAT, special courts and administration. In that SEBI we completed. Now there are another two parts to complete. What is that? SAT and special courts. Okay, but before we move on to that, it's a responsibility cast on me to first explain you what is the concept of SAT, how it actually becomes important in terms of SEBI Act. So see here, it's now time for us to understand what is judiciary. Okay, in this session I am not going to explain what is SAT etc. It takes a lot of time. So next session we will be discussing on SAT, special court clearly, and another session will complete the chapter called as SEBI. Okay, SEBI is a 3-day session totally. Today we will be completing the basic introduction, SEBI and introduction to SAT, and in the next session we will be completing SAT and special courts, and after that we will be completing administration of a stock exchange. With that we will be completing the chapter SEBI. Once SEBI is completed, we will go to SEBI LODR. That will take hardly 1.5 to 2 hours. So once that is also completed, we will be going into the SCRA. It will take another 2.5 day session. Let's take 3. With that we complete another 15 marks of our syllabus. Everyone understood? So let's understand what is a judiciary. Judiciary means a court. See here. So the point we need to understand is, see, whenever I call as a court, court will always takes legal decisions. Listen now. There will be two types of judiciary totally. There are how many types? Two types of judiciary in existence. One will be civil judiciary, another one will be the criminal judiciary. Civil judiciary will be again partitioned into two. And same with the case of a criminal judiciary. Civil judiciary, the two parts that we need to concentrate on looks as under. First one will be internal, external. Criminal also internal, external. Internal, I will divide it into two parts. Outside SEBI Act within SEBI Act, outside SEBI Act, within SEBI Act. Okay. So the internal judiciary, we can have two things. One is outside the SEBI and one is in SEBI. Let's write like this for a better understanding. And criminal case also outside SEBI, within SEBI. If it is outside SEBI, which act, which court, which act, which court, which act, which court, which court. Sorry, answer idanta. So let us try to understand clearly. First one, judiciary means a court. All kinds of decision makings, whenever there is a dispute, contraventions, etc., we need to go to a court. So the legal decisions are taken at a place called as a court, also called as a judicial setting. There are two types of legal cases. One is a civil nature case, another one is a criminal nature case. Civil nature, we can again repartition them into two parts, internal, external. Internal, external, answer. Listen. In India, whenever I refer to certain names, you know that, but let us understand constitutional validity. Do you ever heard about ROC? ROC leave of Papa. ROC. Have you ever seen a concept called as NCLT? Have you seen a concept called as a NCLAT? Have you found it a concept called as a assessing officer under income tax? Have you seen deputy commissioners, CIT, DCIT, PCIT, CCIT? Have you heard about all these names? Yes. Who are these authorities? They will take all the cases. A company, A Act cases, income tax. And income tax kakunda, if the case is other than income tax, will these authorities come and take the case? No. Unless and until if there is any other act, it has to specify income tax authority, then only they will come. That means they will not take company law cases, they will not take bonus act cases. They are taking the cases only of which act? Income tax act. Ippudu na question. About these I want to know. Who is an assessing officer? I want to know completely about them. I want to know who is a deputy commissioner. I want to know who is a DCIT, PCIT, CCIT, ACIT. I want to know about them. A Act chadavale, Income Tax Act. That's what I say. Income Tax Act, 99% it will make an effort to complete all its cases inside the act itself. And cases of income tax will not go to High Court, Supreme Court, or even to the outside civil court. Maximum possible, the ecosystem of income tax is prepared in such a way that whenever you are falling into contraventions under income tax, or whenever department is having certain doubts and suspicion on your income, it will parcel the case and take to authority which is under Income Tax Act itself. Everyone is doing articles now, or you have already completed itself. Whenever your auditor will go to High Court of Hyderabad, High Court of Andhra Pradesh, he will go to commissionerate or appellate. Ante 99.99 cases, the judiciary will be internally within the Companies Act. Internal means within the Act itself. External means outside the Act, go to High Court, Supreme Court. Civil Court, High Court, Supreme Court, external. Within the Act, if you complete the case like appellates inside it, or within its commissionerate inside, that's called as internal. Okay. Now, likewise, company law cases. Whenever company law dispute or case comes, you directly go to Supreme Court and High Court. Even Tata has come through the same channel. Tata, Cyrus Mistry case has happened. First they went to NCLT, later they went to NCLT, later they are going to Supreme Court now. That means there is a proper channel or not. Try to complete the case internally within the Act itself. If even after a reasonable efforts to complete the case within the ambit of that particular, if you could not resolve it, then I will give you a chance to go for an external judiciary. Okay. Now answer. Judiciary is of two types: civil, criminal. Civil judiciary is of two types again: internal, external. First, Tell me now. Let's take a situation. A case has happened outside SEBI Act. Outside SEBI, as a SEBI సంబంధించింది కాదు. It's happened something like a murder case happened. No, murder case will become criminal. Okay, for example, a land dispute case has come. Which come? Land dispute. Nuisance case has come. Okay, some nuisance case was made by one person. Neighbors have made a nuisance case. Now tell me, in this particular case, in case of nuisance, etc., land dispute, small disputes cases are there. In such a case, it's a civil or criminal? Civil case. Now you should answer very clearly. Yes, answer this. Now tell me, which case there is a legal case, which is of which nature? Civil nature. It is coming internally, outside the SEBI, within the SEBI, outside SEBI, and this SEBI Act. Look, some act which is not even Companies Act or SEBI Act, etc. Some act it has come. In such case, which act will take care? All civil cases will be taken by which act? Taken by an act called as CPC 1904. All kinds of civil cases other than in SEBI, other than Companies Act, other than income tax, etc., which don't have internal judiciary in its own, అలాంటి యాక్ట్స్ ఏమైనా ఉంటే all those acts will be covered by a common code called as Code of Civil Procedure, called as a CPC, Code of Civil Procedure 1904 will apply. Which court will take care? City Civil Court, also called as a Civil Court. City Civil Court, or you can also call it as a Civil Court. Repeat once again. First, there is a legal case, which is of which nature? Civil nature. Coming outside the act internally, outside SEBI, within SEBI, outside SEBI. It's not a SEBI case. మన సిలబస్ లోనే ఏ యాక్ట్ కాదనుకోండి. ఓకే, దెన్ విచ్ యాక్ట్ విల్ టేక్ కేర్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ ద సివిల్ కేసెస్? సిపిసి. ఓకే, అండ్ విచ్ కోర్ట్ విల్ టేక్ కేర్? సిటీ సివిల్ కోర్ట్. బయట సివిల్ కోర్ట్కి వెళ్ళాల్సిందే. ఓకే, నౌ దెర్ ఈస్ ఏ జుడిషియరీ. నా టార్చర్ ఆపను, అందరికీ నోటుకు వచ్చేసేయాలి కాన్సెప్ట్. దీని మీద మిగిలిన కాన్సెప్ట్స్ అన్ని బేస్ అయి ఉంటాయి. ఇది అర్థం కాకపోతే మిగిలిన చదివి అర్థం చేశాడు అంటే వాడు ఖచ్చితంగా బట్టి కొట్టేశాడు యాక్ట్ మొత్తం. ఓకే, ఆ బట్టి ఎక్కువ రోజులు నిలబడదు, వాడు ఎక్కువ రోజులు వాడు నిలబడదు. సో ట్రై టు అండర్స్టాండ్ క్లియర్లీ, హ్యావ్ ద కాన్సెప్చువల్ క్లారిటీ. సో జుడిషియరీ, which is of which nature? Civil. It is coming within SEBI, internal or external? Internally within which act? SEBI Act. If the case comes within the SEBI Act itself, సెబీకి సంబంధించిన సెక్షన్స్ కాంట్రవీన్ అయ్యి కేసు కనుక వేయాల్సి వస్తే ఇంటర్నల్లీ ఫస్ట్ సెబీ యాక్ట్లో చెప్పిన అథారిటీస్తో వెళ్ళాలి ఫస్ట్. ఓకే, ఫస్ట్ ట్రై టు రిజాల్వ్ విత్ దెమ్. దెన్ విచ్ యాక్ట్ విల్ అప్లై? SEBI Act will apply. CPC Act does not apply. Next, which court will take care? SEBI will take care, or adjudicating authorities under SEBI will take care. ఏంటి, ఇన్కమ్ ట్యాక్స్ యాక్ట్ ఒక్కడే ఉంటాడా? కమిషనర్ ఒకటేనా? DCIDPC పెద్ద క్యాడర్ ఉంది, అలా SEBI కూడా. SEBI, అడ్జుడికేటింగ్ అథారిటీ అండ్ SAT, ఇలా అథారిటీస్ ఉన్నాయి. నో సార్, ఐ లాస్ట్ విత్ SEBI, ఐ లాస్ట్ విత్ అడ్జుడికేటింగ్, ఐ లాస్ట్ విత్ SAT. అప్పుడేం చేయాలి? Then go to external, which is Supreme Court. Civil cases will go to Supreme Court generally. ఇదేమి రూల్ కాదు. సివిల్ కేసెస్ అని సుప్రీం కోర్ట్కి, క్రిమినల్ కేసెస్ అని హైకోర్టుకి అని. జనరల్లీ సివిల్ కేసెస్ విల్ గో టు సుప్రీం. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్, అందుకే వాటర్ డిస్ప్యూట్స్ బిట్వీన్ తెలంగాణ, ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్, తమిళనాడు, బెంగళూరు, తమిళనాడు, కర్ణాటక, తమిళనాడు, ఆల్ దీస్ టు సుప్రీం కోర్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా. ఓకే, హై కోర్ట్ డెసిషన్స్ ఆర్ బైండింగ్ ఆన్ దట్ స్టేట్. సుప్రీం కోర్ట్ డెసిషన్స్ ఆర్ బైండింగ్ ఆన్ ఇండియా. సింపుల్ ఆన్సర్ అయిపోయింది అక్కడతో. ఓకే, సుప్రీం కోర్ట్ డెసిషన్స్ ఆర్ బైండింగ్ ఆన్ ఇండియా, హైకోర్ట్ డెసిషన్స్ ఆర్ బైండింగ్ ఓన్లీ ఆన్ ద స్టేట్. అందుకే డైవర్జెంట్ వ్యూస్ వస్తాయి హైకోర్టుకి. ఇక్కడ ఇచ్చిన హైకోర్టు ఇంకో స్టేట్లో ఇచ్చిన హైకోర్టు డెసిషన్ ఒకేలా ఉండదు. సో క్రిమినల్ కేసెస్ గురించి ఇప్పుడు కాదు మనం నేర్చుకునేది. వి విల్ లెర్న్ ఇట్ ఇన్ స్పెషల్ కోర్ట్స్ ఏరియా. మనం చదువుతుంది ఇప్పుడు SAT, స్పెషల్ కోర్ట్, SAT. కాబట్టి ఎంతవరకు నేర్చుకోవాలి అంతవరకు నేర్చుకోండి చాలు. మరి ఇప్పుడు రిపిటేషన్ స్టార్ట్స్. చెప్పండి. ఫస్ట్ దెర్ ఈస్ ఏ జుడిషియరీ. Judiciary will be of two types, civil, criminal. మనం చదువుతుంది ఏంటి? Civil. In civil there are again two parts, internal, external. First, మళ్ళీ internal రెండు parts, within SEBI, outside. అదే outside SEBI, within SEBI. If it is outside SEBI, which act will take care? CPC. Which court will take care? City Civil Court. If it is within the SEBI, which act will take care? SEBI Act will take care. Which authority will take care? Either SEBI or adjudicating authority of SEBI or Securities Appellate Tribunal. So this is all about the introduction to this concept of SAT. అంటే SAT is a, ఇక్కడ conclusion ఒకటే, SAT is a civil authority or a criminal authority? Civil authority under SEBI Act. It will take the cases or appeals. Securities appellate tribunal. Kani appeals e kaadu. There are many works to do by SAT. SAT is not just to take appeals. It is much more thing which is beyond appeals. What are all those things? We will learn in our next session. Hope everyone understand the concept of SEBI, whatever we discussed in our today's session. Okay. So thank you very much. Tomorrow's session will continue and complete.